side, it's definitely done correctly.
You sure?
I'm positive, but it's not working. Um, we're definitely on YouTube. That's the most important thing. Oh, somebody's on YouTube this morning. Morning, Gemma.
Hey.
Woohoo! Our first person to join us on YouTube.
Yes, don't forget to
Uh,
subscribe.
yes, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all the
Come on,
things.
Insta. What you doing?
I don't know what is going on with Instagram. There's something wrong. Here it is. It's live. Hallelujah.
Oh, is
It
it?
should be there now. You got it?
No, it's still saying it's not. Oh, yeah, no,
Ah,
it's live.
it's live. Okay, good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the VA Live Lounge, and to all of our technical problems.
We're getting
Um,
quicker though. It's that's 5 minutes. Normally it's about 7 or 8.
don't tell people that; they won't come back. So we're talking this morning about networking, but networking locally in a digital industry. I am excited to talk about this actually because I network like a fiend, as you know, Kirsty. And what I see is I see a lot of virtual assistants that stick to online networking, and I think it's because almost because it's my dog is looking at me through the window. Come
Oh,
here. I think it's because it's a digital business, you're online, you're remote, and it just feels more natural to do it that way. I don't know what's your because you're not a networker, so tell me why you don't network.
I don't network. I networked an online one, and it was the worst thing I ever did. Firstly, I got the wrong week, so I sat there like a twat for like ages, going like, "What's going on?" And then when I did it, it was the most uncomfortable experience. I'm not very good with stuff like that anyway, as you well know. But I pushed myself, and I thought, right, it'll be fine. I'll just chat, and I just froze. It was horrendous. But there are two sides to networking, isn't there? Let me just take my watch off because it's just going to keep
Yeah,
ringing. It- People love a personal touch. They
mm,
like to see somebody's face. I mean, I know we all talk on Zoom and things like that, but being in person when you're talking to someone about who you are and what you can do for them
mm.
speaks volumes, I think. But I just don't have the confidence to go networking, like walking into that room and everyone's like, like when you in school in the cafeteria if you're new and you walk in there and everyone's like, who are you?
But it's so not like that. That's the thing.
But the more you go
The easier
locally,
it
the more the
becomes.
people,
Yeah,
you'll become known within that group. So if you can push
yeah.
yourself, I would try it.
Yeah, I think a lot of VAs stick to the online because of your reason, like fear. It feels easier. But actually, I'll be honest, I have actually got a client. We got clients
Yeah.
off the back of a online networking event, which is quite rare. Um, However, you can't make the same kind of connections. You can't really make the same eye contact. You can't read body language. People get distracted. Oh dear! So our YouTube has just caught up where Gemma had joined us, and we just go open another tab, and then it just closed.
Oh,
Was the one where we turned it off? Um, I don't think it's streaming as a live on there anymore, which is annoying. It should be. One moment. Okay, sorry about that, Gemma, who was watching live. It doesn't look like it's alive anymore. Apologies if you are watching and you are asking questions. It doesn't look like I can see them anymore. So apologies for that, but I will come back and answer any questions afterwards. We are on Instagram as well, so you can join us there. So I think a lot, as I say, you can't make those same kind of connections through virtual networking. I, as you know, have had a lot of success with networking, and I don't think we would have done as well or got the amount of clients we've got without networking because the majority of clients are local to me. They've met me, or there's been referrals that way. So I get it. I get that it's difficult, but honestly, like now that because I network so often, I always know there's going to be someone in the room that I know, and I have more networking friends than I do actual friends, which is a bit sad and pathetic, but it's true. And the opportunities are incredible when you network. They are incredible. And so let's talk about first of all the fear. What is it specifically that worries you?
I don't know what, it's a really weird thing with me, because in a previous world before children and all of that, I used to go to like trade shows and talk to people and walk around and talk to new customers and things like that. But now I feel like I'm a completely different person. And I have no idea why. It's more a confidence thing for me. Like I say, if I was to walk into a room and I didn't know anybody, I'd be absolutely terrified. I'd struggle to, like you say to me, I go into a room and I go up to people and go, "What are you talking about?" I could never do that. I'd be like, "Hello."
I think it's important to reframe your mindset. So I used to, when I first started networking, it was scary. It is scary to walk into a room full of people that you don't know. Of course it is. Anyone that isn't scared, I don't know what's wrong with you, but it is scary. And so I used to go in. The first thing I do is I go make a cup of tea, because there's always some way you can make a cup of tea. Give you a chance to settle your nerves, kind of look around, and hope somebody comes and speaks to you. But I would at first, just hope someone would speak to me, or I would kind of stand to the side. But over time, what I realised was everybody's there with the same feelings, the same fears, the same reasons. We're all in the same boat. It's kind of ridiculous. So I stopped doing that and I started to just walk straight up to people that were in the middle of a conversation and say, "You don't mind if I join, do you?" Because that's what we're there for. And nobody cares. Everybody's like, "Yeah, of course you can, no problem." They immediately stop their conversation and invite you in. Like, it's probably because they're having a really rubbish conversation, but they always tend to stop and say, "Oh, what's your name? Tell us about you." It's developing that confidence and just going for it. And once you do it a few times, it just becomes easier. And honestly, I just think, what's the point in not doing that? That's the whole point of networking. That's why we're there.
Yeah, you're right. And as I say, everybody at the moment, it's massive in that personal touch, isn't it? And people like to be able to sit down with you and talk to you face to face. Like I say, you can do it over Zoom and things like that. But I think when you've got a personal touch, you can build that bond quite quickly, that trust bond
Mm,
quite quickly
mm.
when you're in person and things like that. So you're right. If you can get over that fear, then it's definitely something. And if you're doing it locally, as I say, more often than not, you'll see somebody from the previous one. They'll introduce you to 5 or 6 other people, and week on week or month on month, or however often you do that one, you'll start to know people.
Yeah, and there's nothing more powerful than walking into a room where everybody knows you and they go, "Hi, Lisa," and you go up and you give them a kiss on the air kiss on the cheek, and you're like, "Hi, how's things?" And everyone else is looking at you like, "Oh, wow, who's this
Oh
person?" Like,
shit.
they
Yeah.
know everyone. I'm telling you, there's something really special about that as well. And I love that feeling. Like, I have got to that point and it's really good. Um, so I think I understand the fears, but there's so much more value in local networking because, as we've just said, you're going to meet people time and time again, and then that becomes easier. But also, you meet them so often, you get to find out more about them. Where are they? "Oh, I'm only over here living in this town. You're only over there living in that town." I normally network no more than an hour away, and that's mainly because I live in a more of a rural area of the country, and so it's harder to find networking events locally. Um, and then and then what happens on the back of that is you have your follow-ups. Now, before I come to follow-ups, let's just talk a little bit more because some people might never have networked before about what normally happens in that room. And one of the biggest reasons people don't go, and that is the elevator pitch. So, if you don't know, an elevator pitch is when you get to speak for 30 seconds, 60 minutes, or 60 seconds, whatever it might be, about you and your business. And this is the part that terrifies the pants off people. And I'll be honest, I don't know why. I've been networking for years, but sometimes, just as it gets to me, I lose the plot.
Mm,
I go, my legs go like jelly. I'm dead nervous, and it's even hard for me. I don't know why. It just is.
mm.
Does the thought of that terrify you?
Oh, good God, yeah. As well. I think it stems from a fear of school. I used to hate being asked questions in the classroom in front of everybody, and I knew it was coming, like you. I knew it was coming. They're going to ask me, and I'd be absolutely terrified. And they get to me, and I go, blah, 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 blah. And that's my fear. My fear is like, if I did it, would I cause myself more damage than actual good? So I think, well, what's the point then? If it's going to terrify me, why would I want to do that to myself?
But at the same time, once you do it and you've done it a few times and then you leave that networking event, you feel exhilarated.
Yeah.
You do. We're back on YouTube and Gemma is still with us. Thanks, Gemma, for staying with us. She reloaded. Any questions, let us know. Um, but you do, you feel really buzzing afterwards. So
Mm.
I get such a kick out of networking. Like after I've done it, I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing. So normal format of a networking event is you come in, there'll be pastries and tea, or you might show up for a networking dinner or lunch or whatever, or wherever it is. But the format is normally that there is some form of elevator pitch. Now there are some networking events you can attend, and you could exclusively look for them where there is no elevator pitch. There's one I attend. It's the second Tuesday of every month, and it's a brilliant guy who's like a super connector who's managed to build this networking event. He's taken over a coffee shop. It's just ridiculous the amount of people that go. Um, People just can't get a coffee in there because we're all in there, and nobody. He just connects everyone. He comes in and says, "Hi, how are you?" And oh, let me introduce you to this person in the room. But there's no
Wow.
elevator pitch. Everyone just mingles, does their own thing, comes and goes as they pleases. So there are some really informal networking events like that. That if you're scared, that you
Mm.
could attend instead. But ultimately, you've still got to walk up and speak to someone.
Mm.
There's no way you can avoid that. And then what normally happens in most networking events is they go around the table, everybody stands up, and they do this elevator pitch. And the elevator pitch is your chance to tell people a little bit about you, what you do, and it's it is scary. I'm not going to lie. If you don't like public speaking, it's scary. But the easiest thing to do is just practice in the car, practice on the way, practice in front of the mirror, write it down. Some people do actually write it down and take it with them and read it because it's just easier for them, and that's okay as well. People will get that you're nervous, they're not judgmental. And so what what I would advise you to do is in the beginning, just to make life easy for yourself, is just to say, I'm so and so. Always say your last name. I tell you what really annoys me when you network is people give their first name. A lot of people you will see are writing down. They are
Yeah.
writing down your name, and sometimes they don't know how to spell it. They don't quite catch your company name, and the reason they're writing it down is so that they can follow up with you. And so it's really important you write your last name. And I pointed this out recently at a networking event I was at, and I said, look, guys, can you just say your last names in future? Because I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I did. I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I'm Jane from where I didn't catch the business, which means
Yeah.
I'm never going to look you up. But at
Yeah.
least if I had your last name, I can kind of look through LinkedIn, see your face.
Mm.
So always say your first and last name. In your case, hey, I'm Kirsty Moore. I'm a virtual assistant from Taunton. I love helping people with their admin, their social media, blah, blah, blah. So you just keep it basic if you were scared. You would just say your name, you're a VA, what you do. I always put this caveat in for virtual assistants. Always say something like this. Hey, I'm Kirsty Moore from, you could say, Kirsty Moore virtual assistant. I'm a virtual assistant. If you don't know what that is, it basically means I'm a remote personal assistant. People know what personal
Mhm.
assistants are, and then just because not everyone knows what a VA is.
Yeah.
And so you would then just say, and this is what I do. Now, as time goes on, you will change that. Instead of telling anyone about what your business is, you will tell them how you help. So I might say something like, well, what I might have previously said is something like, hey, I'm Lisa Tennant from LTVA Services when we were LTVA Services, and I help business owners that are trying to do everything themselves to get back the time they need to spend on their business rather than in their business by freeing up their time and taking on their admin, their marketing, their tech. So if you're trying to do all of the things, juggle all of the balls, spin all of the plates in your business, then come and have a chat to me. And you can start to change it. You don't even have to mention your business name.
Mm.
Now I might say something like, hey, I'm Lisa Tennant and I help business owners that are scaling. If you're trying to scale a business, but you haven't got your systems, your processes, and your people in place, I'm sorry, but scaling is going to be really difficult for you. So if you're serious about scaling your business and you don't have your systems, processes, and people in place, then come chat to me and I'm more than happy to help you. That's Lisa Tennant. And then I might say from LT Business Management. But I didn't say that in the beginning.
Mm.
Yeah, I've just told people what I can do to help them. And that's something you can build on and practice as time goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's as simple as that, isn't it? And it's so easy once you start talking because you're the only person that knows everything about your business. So it is very easy to talk about it. But I think it's more that actual saying it for me. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like everyone's looking at me and like, ah, it's like,
Yeah, and you can opt out. You can opt out. So there's no pressure. You can tell the person who has organised the event that you don't feel comfortable. You just want to come and see how it works the first time. And a lot of people will say, if you don't want to say, that's fine. And I go to a women's networking event where notoriously, for some reason, this is a well-known event. People come maybe for the first time, they are terrified, and so they choose not to speak. That's okay, no problem. However, the women are genuinely really good at lifting up with other women. So I would say one of the best places you could go for networking if you're nervous for the first time is a women's only event.
yeah,
And they big each other up and they're like, come on, we got you can do this. And so that's really good as well. I have been to other formats where you sit on a round table, so you might be placed on round tables, and there's an egg timer in the middle, and you get 3 minutes to talk about your business.
oh my god,
And it feels like, how am I ever going to get through this? And actually, you run out of time. You
no,
just run out of time. You do, yeah. And so, yeah, there's lots of different formats. I think it's about finding the format that's right for you.
mm,
But ultimately, it's how you approach networking. Networking is not about trying to walk away with business. It isn't. Okay. If you go to a networking event with the mindset that I'm going to get a new client, I'm going to try, you will put people off, because
mm,
what you'll start to do is ram down their throats when you're having like a one-to-one conversation with them, what you do. And you'll start to ask them questions that are really just about how you could try and get in there and help them.
mm,
The thing is, it's not about the people in the room, it's about the people in the room that they know.
mm,
So, what you're trying to do is build connections so that you become so solidified in that person's mind that one, yes, they might need you in the future, but two, they might know someone else who needs you.
yeah. That's the
And
thing,
that is
isn't it?
important.
We've had so many referrals from networking events, haven't we? That
Mm,
because you're so well established and you say the right things, that you're then in that person's mind, and they've come and, oh, I met you at such and such event, and this person referred me, blah blah blah. So I think it is really important to do it. It's just that mindset, isn't it? Again, we always talk about mindset, don't we? And being in the right frame to do things like that.
yeah. And some of the clients we've got have come from networking that I've known for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
It's taken
we
that
had one the
long.
other day, didn't we?
Yeah, it's taken that long for them to really be ready,
Mm,
most importantly. And that's the point, not everybody you meet in the room is going to be ready to sign up with you straight away. Now, I have had it. I did go to a networking event once, Sarah C, where she straight away on the back of that said, yeah, I need you. And that was it. So
yeah.
it has happened. I'm not going to say it hasn't, that I have got clients straight away on the back of networking. I have. But I've also met people. I'm actually going to give a live example because I know a lot of the clients have come from that circle of networking. So I'm just going to go and check out our clients and see if I can give some examples of them.
Yeah.
So, because I think that would be really interesting. So, one of the clients, Sean, that we've got at the moment, is actually somebody I didn't meet networking, but I followed for a while, and it was an ideal client. So, it was someone I would occasionally connect with, chat to, send a DM, comment on a post over about 2 years. And then I got to meet her at an event. And I met her at the event, got to properly talk to her. It was much easier because it was warm, we knew each other, and she signed up as a client.
Yeah.
So that was that client. Then we've got Rebecca. Rebecca, I don't remember actually, but we met networking.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, Rebecca must have watched me, continued to watch me, see me at networking events, and signed up. The
Mm.
reason why I don't always know is because Kirsty used to take all the inquiry calls, and so they would end up coming to Kirsty and not me. Now, this is an important point. The reason I've got Kirsty and had Kirsty to begin with to do all the inquiry calls is because when you build your personal brand and you become the person people are invested in, it's really hard if you're building an agency like I am. If you're not, it's really hard then to have that inquiry call and say, but you're not working with me.
Yeah.
You're working with one of my team members. And that was the problem we were having, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did have quite a lot, and it was quite difficult to get over that little hurdle, wasn't it? But then I think we changed the way that when you spoke to people at networking events, it was it was said to them that you'd be working with one of the team, not
Team.
directly
Yeah.
with you. So I think
Yeah.
that's really important if you are building an agency, to make that point that potentially you won't be, maybe you're working with that client directly initially, but then they would be passed on to one of your associates. But
Yeah.
it's good
But
to make,
if you're a solo VA, it's fine. You
doesn't
know,
matter. Yeah.
that's great. They're buying into you. Ridwan I met at an event. Tracy and Mark, I met. How did I think I didn't meet them at a networking event. They got referred to me, and then I met them in person,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool. Keith, Keith, classic. Met Keith at a networking event. It, it took him 2 years, and then he signed up. Okay, so it's just because he's on my mailing list. Another thing I do, I'll talk about this in a minute. I make sure they get on my mailing list, right, whether they like it or not. And so he's been watching me, following my emails, and finally was ready, because that's part of the thing, isn't it? You're constantly nurturing that person. Nikki, someone I met networking, she's finally ready. Bizarrely, not just because she met me networking, but because the industry she's in, a lot of our clients are in, and she started to hear that they're working with us as well. So that helped her. And then we've got Helen. Helen's another classic example of a client that I've met networking but didn't remember. In fact, recently I was at a networking event. I did a little talk about what we do, and she said, "Can I just say, you guys are brilliant. I'm one of your clients," and I didn't even know. Michael was referred from someone from a networking event that I met. And then we've got, I think Mark might have been referred because he's local to me. So somebody might have passed that on. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
my Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got two
Yeah.
Marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a referral off. He was a referral off a networking event. I remember now.
Yeah. And then Claire was someone I met through a networking event I hosted, and she's now a client, and she's referred loads of people to us. That's the point. And then who else have we got? Yeah, that's it at the moment.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of clients that have come to
back
us
of networking, yeah, and referrals.
from networking, yeah, and referrals, and the referrals. Like, once you start getting those referrals, it's a game changer, because you're not having to work as hard. The point is, oh, and Heather, I didn't mention Heather. Oh, sorry, two more that I'm doing project work with. Heather also met through networking, and took me about 3 years for her to finally sign up. And Catherine, I met once at a networking event, and she just signed up for a £6,000 project.
Yeah.
All of that from networking alone, and that's the truth, the God's honest truth. All of that from networking, or from networking events I've put on, and from people that have referred. And also because I've got to know people really well, I've put on in-person events, and people I know through networking have then come to those events. And really believe in me, and have really bought into me. Kay, Laura, Bookso, all of these people. So all of that is from that community you build. And I am telling you now, that would not have happened through virtual networking.
No, because I think as well, when I did do that virtual networking event, it was just like, it really, like, there was so many people there, and like whenever you spoke, obviously there's a lag, and other people talking over other people, and it was like, this is just like my idea of like a nightmare. But actually, if you were in person, you go, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, and there's no delays, and screens are jumping all over the place and all that kind of thing. So that was quite off-putting as well, I found. But I think if you're actually within a group and you can all talk about the same thing, and do you know what I mean? There's no sort of talking over each other or something like that.
Yeah. And you do build, like, I've actually been to someone's house that I've met networking, where we've become friends. So there is that part of it as well. And what I always do after a networking event, obviously, I collect as many business cards as possible, but I write down, as I say, I write down what people do, where they're from. And sometimes you'll get a delegates list. So depending on the networking event, you might get a delegates list sent out to you. And so it takes time, and it is like a bit of admin. But I have an automation set up. So I have a blank email that isn't all pretty. That's that says, "Dear so and so, it was so lovely to meet you at the blank networking event. Sorry we didn't get a chance to talk more, but I'd love to connect with you." I might have already reached out on LinkedIn, but if not, I will do soon. And it's generic. But what we do is we've got like a custom field that fills in the networking event we met at. So what I'll do is I'll go and create them as a contact in my CRM system. I'll fill in where I met them, and then I'll tag them networking. And once I tag them, they automatically get that
Yeah.
email. And so they then go into my networking list. And I also put them on a spreadsheet so that anytime anybody, well, I don't do that now actually, I just filter search them on networking. Anytime anyone wants a referral for somebody that I've met networking, I can also refer them on as well.
Mm.
So it works both ways. And then I'll go and follow up with them on Instagram and LinkedIn. And I always invite them to a virtual coffee to talk a little bit more about what we do, because you don't get that much
Yeah.
opportunity. And sometimes something comes on the back of that, and sometimes nothing comes on the back of that. But the point is, you're keeping them fresh in mind of you and what you do and who you are. And
Mm.
it's about sharing that with those people. And so I always do that as well. Um, and then quite often, people will come back to me. They'll say, "Hey, I've just met someone who needs your services,"
Yeah.
because you've kept them, fresh in mind, and you've connected with them and all of this. After a while, because I have like a little nurturing sequence where I send them that first email, say, it was lovely to meet you. Then I send them a follow up saying, just thought I'd let you know in case you didn't catch what I do, that this is what I do. And then they get one more email saying, look, I've got this thing going on at the moment, some calls, do you fancy a chat? After that, they go into my newsletter tag. So they can unsubscribe if they're not happy. This is called a soft opt in. Okay, so there's some rules around how people opt in to newsletters. There's a hard opt in and a soft opt in. The fact is, they've exchanged their details with me, so they've given me their information, so I can process that information. So I do then tag them newsletters, and I do start sending them out newsletters as
Mm.
well. And so on the back of that, we've got clients who have followed those newsletters. I say newsletters, as you know, our email is like an email to a friend, just talking about strategy, how we can help,
Mm.
value, that kind of thing, and it tends to work. And so it's quite interesting looking at what we've built, the little ecosystem that has
Mm.
mainly come from networking.
Yeah, you made a really good point there about connecting with them on LinkedIn straight away, or as soon as you can, because they will then be in your network, as you well know, and they'll
Mm.
start to see all of your posts, and to message them directly to say thank you, so lovely to meet you, is building that you're building that relationship immediately after that networking event, and we do that quite quickly afterwards. So I think when you've finished that network, it's really key to connect with them on LinkedIn, because then you will be your face will be on their feed all the time. Whatever you're posting, reposting, whatever, they'll constantly be seeing you, so that you're fresh in their mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, like they will probably go and have a look at what you do
Yeah.
in a different way. So that's the other reason why you want to connect on LinkedIn, so they go
Mm.
check you out and see what you're up to. Also building your connections is a really
Mm.
good thing to do anyway, in general, on LinkedIn. Now, there's another thing. So networking isn't just about networking. You can be on your local Facebook groups. So I would literally post every single day on your local Facebook groups who you are, what you do, how you help, and tell people in different ways. So it could be, are you stuck with social media one day? It could be, are you stuck with admin another day? It could be, do you need a website? Whatever it might be, every day try something different on your local Facebook groups and start to become the person that people remember and
Yeah.
go, oh no, I know someone, she posted the other day, oh, her name was so and so. So that's another thing that you can do. The other thing is traditional marketing, which is just underrated. So I today at midnight we're releasing our Get Started as a VA self-led course. You can get it for £17 instead of 67 if you register on the waiting list. The link is in the bio. Um, and the reason I'm telling you about this is we cover, even if you've started but you're stuck. So if you're a VA now and you're stuck, you're not getting clients. It's probably because you structured everything wrong.
Mm.
So if you go back and have a look at this, it gives you the step by step process you need to take. And it's not too late to redo things. One of the things we cover in there is traditional marketing, like leaflet dropping around your local area. Like so many people work from home. You could be literally leaflet dropping and finding people that way. So leaflet dropping, writing letters, hand delivering them to local businesses or getting them posted to local businesses, putting up posters. Try other methods,
Mm.
but this is all part of your local your local ecosystem that you really should be tapping into. And that's important as well. So definitely do that. And then the other thing is speaking at events.
Oh no, no.
I
Why
know,
would
it's
you?
terrifying. So what happened to me was I was at a networking event that I go to, and listening to one of the speakers, and never crossed my mind to speak. And at the end of it, they said, "We're looking for speakers for the future if anyone will be interested." And I was like, I could do that. I could speak at an event, thinking, be a piece of piss this. So I put my name down, and oh my God, literally the week before I could not sleep. I was terrified. I was so nervous. I nearly cancelled. I was like, I can't do it. This is not going to be something I can do. And I did it. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. I was like, I'm speaking too fast. My hands are clammy and my legs
Mm,
are shaking. But I've always had amazing feedback when I speak, and I
mm,
think it's because I'm quite me, just authentic, so I don't pull any punches, but I give a lot of value, and I put kind of interactive things into presentations. So when I do like a slideshow, I'll put a video demo in of something so people get to understand what I'm talking about. It's not just a still. And I always get clients on the back of it. Like literally, it's crazy. So the first time I did it, I talked about CRM systems and automation. So how to create a basic automated workflow. And it was eye-opening for people because some people didn't even know what a CRM was, or some of them had one but didn't know you could do this.
mm,
And so there was one woman in the room, and I'd met her lots of times at networking events, and she never really spoke to me. She was quite
mm,
aloof, and I used to think, oh, what a bitch, to be honest with you, right? She didn't speak to me. She mainly hung around the men, and so I just didn't like her. I just didn't like her. And then on the back of this networking event where I spoke, she came up to me afterwards. She says, "Oh my God, that was brilliant. I didn't know you could do all that. Would you build a website for me and implement a CRM system?" And she became a client, and she
mm.
actually turned out to be really lovely. And so she ended up, we did her website, we set up CRM, all her automations, and we did the whole thing for her. And that was on the back of speaking, because the point was she got to know me in a different way. She didn't know about all those skills, and the only way you can really showcase to someone what you can do is by doing that,
By showing them, yeah.
by showing them. And then I did that talk again somewhere else, and someone signed up for our automation setup on the back of it. Then I did it at another event, and I got a CRM client sign up on the back of that. And then on the first event I did, I got asked to come back and talk again.
Mm,
So I went back and spoke about something different that time. Since then, I've spoken multiple times at networking events. I put myself forward. I'm not going to lie, it hasn't got easier in the sense
mm,
that I don't still get nervous. I absolutely do. And then recently, I got asked to speak at a business summit for AI and automation, and that was massive.
mm.
And on the back of that, oh my God, I've made some amazing connections on the back of that, like really inner circle connections. So this is why it's so important, if you can get comfortable with networking, that you think about leveling up and going for public speaking as well.
That's the thing, isn't it? And I think that's a good point you made. If you are doing a speech, it's really key to have value in that talk. It's all very well, I can do your admin, I can do this, I can do that. But if you actually show somebody or give them something that's going to massively impact their business and show them how you can do it, then I think you're kind of 10 steps ahead, aren't you? Because it's all very well sitting there chatting about, the things that you can implement for them, but actually showing them is a whole different game, isn't it? As it's been
Yeah,
proven.
yeah, definitely showing them. They'll be like, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
So penny starts to drop.
Mm.
Anybody got any questions? Then please drop them in the comments. I'm a bit nervous about our split screen on Instagram. It looks like we've got half a head each, and I don't know whether
Oh,
that's how people are actually seeing it.
can someone
But
let us know?
there's nothing I can do about that. And I've just realised that actually our YouTube chat comes through on our Riverside chat as well. So Gemma had commented in there, so that was cool. Um, Now, one thing that I've only just started to kind of realise myself actually is I've been thinking about relocating the business to another country, and I know, and and I was looking at where's really good with an expat community and business hub, and I realised that actually, I'm networking locally, but there are places where, because we need to go for higher paying clients now, where you'll find those people easier. And I'm not going to find them where I am right now. So I probably need to now start networking further afield, like more of my local city, where
Yeah.
people are going to have money, or the neighbouring city. So when you get to a certain level, um, it might be that actually your local network isn't the best place for you,
Mm,
and you might have to look at maybe traveling to London.
mm,
So you might have to look at attending dinners there or something. So actually, you do have to have a strategy behind your networking. It's no good to just show up
mm,
to networking events just for the sake of it. You've got to know that they're the right ones for you, and that's where clients are likely to be, or where people in the room are likely to know people that you need. So I have started to think, well, hang on a minute, I didn't realise that if I took the business here, I would have the opportunity to meet, like, for example, if I went to Dubai, that's not
mm.
where I'm considering going, by the way, but if I did, then you would suddenly have this
Massive
very
network.
massive network of people with serious money. So
Mm.
so it's also worth thinking about that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, we probably have never even thought about that, have we? But I think you're right in terms of the way we've scaled the business. We do need to go into a different direction. I'm not saying, forget local networking, because that's
Mm,
really where you've got to start to get your balls and to get,
mm,
to get your face out there kind of thing. But I think you're right. If you do attend the bigger networking events, you'll more than likely be in the money with the bigger
mm,
clients, because that's, the bigger clients will go to the NECs, the London events, Manchester, all that kind of thing. So I think that's kind
mm.
of the direction we're going in now in
It
terms
is,
of higher paying clients. And you're a
yeah, because
professional now.
professional networker. Because traditionally, been going to free events. I hate paid for memberships,
Mm,
because you're kind of tied in, and then you tend to just have the same people there all the time, and that's no good to anyone. So I tend to avoid those and just pay as I go.
mm,
But I've realised that if I want to meet higher paying clients, then they're not attending free working events.
no.
So they're paying for them, and they're probably going to dinners, lunches, breakfasts, and things like that. So I am now moving away from the traditionally free networking, same networking, especially if the events I go to, they genuinely don't bring in more people, more new people. And I am exploring going further afield. So I might, go to a London networking event where there's a dinner. I might go to, Manchester, and places like that. There's clubs you can join.
Mm,
So there are actually really exclusive memberships that can cost a lot of money, but the people in them have a lot of money.
mm,
And so sometimes it's worth thinking about that as an investment, and
mm,
it could do really well for your business. So it is about thinking about all, like, for example, there's loads of property networking events
mm,
exclusive to property. So if you work solely in supporting property investors, that would be a really good one for you to go to.
mm,
Um, so it's really thinking strategically about, well, who do you want to work with? Who is your ideal client? Where would they likely to be, from a local perspective, to begin with? If you work mainly with women, then obviously it's going to be a women's networking event. Why are you wasting your time
yeah.
anywhere else? Not to say you can't go to a mixed, networking event, because you can, and you're going to meet women there. But it is about thinking strategically. Well, where are they likely to be? What would they be spending their money on? Is it worth me going down the free route? Is it worth me going down the paid for route? That's what I would advise. Memberships,
Mm.
I'm going to say something here that might be
I know
controversial,
what you're
but
going to say.
BNI,
Yeah.
don't do it.
They're arseholes. One of my
I am,
clients is with them and he gets like really rude emails. He's not attended the event and they're going to blacklist him. And I'm like, whatever,
yeah,
mate.
it's like a flipping cult. Like, you're under so much
Horrible.
pressure.
Mm,
I don't think it's good to do that, and that you always get the same spiel. There is only one. There's none of you. We're looking for one of you. There isn't one in
mm,
the room.
bullshit.
You'd solely get all of the business. And then the other thing I really hate, it really drives me mad, is people are in these kind of networking cults. Sometimes they will send you an email going, "Hey, I can't attend my networking event next week. I'd love you to be able to attend in my place." It's just another tactic, and I freaking hate it. So
Mm,
think about the networking, especially for VAs. traditionally don't have loads and loads of money, like I wouldn't go down that route. I would if I would literally stick to pay as you go as much as you possibly
Mm.
can, because once you're tied in, you're tied in. I actually saw a LinkedIn post this week where someone called out a networking company, like a networking group. What was it called? Is it Affinity Networking or something like that? Anyway, it was a women's only networking, and they tagged them in it, went to town on them, how disgusting they were, that they weren't supportive, that it was an online event and they were paying something like £60 a month for it. Only the same people ever came in the room. You know, you don't want to attend anything like
No,
that. You want
pointless.
to you want to attend an event where you've got the ability to be able to also talk at the event if you ever want to do that in the future. The other thing I would avoid is there are a lot of Facebook groups
Mm.
that people tend to set up that are saying they are for the wider community. So they'll say there's VA ones, and it's for virtual assistants. There are mums in business ones, and then they'll say it's for you guys, and it isn't. It's for
Mm.
them. It's for them
Yeah.
to push what they're doing. And I know because I have been pushed out and told I can't post in some of these places
Mm.
because I'm a competitor. Why do you have a virtual assistant Facebook group that you invite virtual assistants to, but they're not allowed to post anything?
Yeah.
Only you are.
What's the point in that? I don't. There's a lot of it going round at the minute. Sorry, something just flashed up on my screen that I can't get rid of. Wait one
Well,
second.
it's all like it might be a VA coach, for example, who's basically just trying to
Yeah.
sell you something. That's
Yeah.
no good to you. So
No,
if you can't be showcasing what you do and telling people what you do, then there's
that's
absolutely
fine.
no point.
Yeah.
Um, a few more tips. So one of the things you can do that works really good is get some leaflets printed. And if you go networking, take them with you. Say to the host, "Do you mind if we pop these out on the table?" And I don't pop them out. I give them to people in their
Yeah.
hands. So I'll go, "Hey, can you take one of these? Thanks,"
Yeah.
and just give them out to
It's,
people.
it's proof in the pudding of this. One thing as well that we mentioned about we attended a networking event for one of our clients. They set up the networking event, and off the back of that, we got a load of leads, didn't we? And I think, as you said before, and I think it's quite a wise to speak to your clients because and ask them if they're attending any network events or holding a networking event that you could go along to because
Mm.
we've worked with those people for such a long time that we knew their business inside out and we could actually say to them, well, this is what I've done for these people. We've worked with them for like 3.5 years and this is how we save them time and we've helped them to escalate their business and evolve and we don't work with them anymore, but because they've employed somebody because they're in such a good position and that's come off the back of working with us. So I think it's a really good idea to speak to your clients and ask if you can go with them or attend their event because you can actually sit and talk to them if it's within the same industry, that kind of thing, and that you can actually say what you can do for that person that's holding a network event, what you could do for other people.
That's absolutely brilliant advice, actually. So asking a client who is more local to you, so
Mm,
you could go with them, that is golden advice because they can then introduce you
yeah.
to other people. I love that. In fact, I hadn't even thought of that, and now I'm going to have to go and do that with all my existing clients. I love that advice. Brilliant. So networking, look, the power. If you're struggling and you're trying banging away on social media, it's unlikely you are going to meet people that way. Now, there are other ways you can do things. LinkedIn, I'd fallen out with LinkedIn, right? I'd fallen out with it because it's not working the same way as it used to. However, I've recently had two posts blow up and the last one went viral, like, which wasn't expected at all. And I realised this is a way to connect with people in a warm way. So when I started to go through the comments on this post, which took days and hours because there were that many, I realised that a lot of them were my ideal client. So I connected with them, sent them a connection request and a note to say, "Thank you so much for commenting on my recent post." And they accepted. And most of them have then sent me a message going, "Oh, no problem at all. It was absolutely brilliant." And then you start a natural conversation. So
Mm,
that's a tip I'm going to leave you with, which is nothing to do with networking, but it is a form of networking, so to speak, building on connections. However, if your sole strategy is to just to do a website and to go on social media, it's gonna be hard work.
mm,
It's gonna be hard work now more than ever because personal brand is huge. People really want to know that they can trust you And the only way you're going to build that is by meeting people in real life.
Yeah. No, you're right, and I think if you can get out there and do that, what's the worst that can happen? What do we say?
Yeah.
No one's going to die.
Yeah, exactly. What's the worst that can happen? Just do it. Just take your notes. Tell them
Yeah.
you don't want to do the elevator pitch. Just meet people a few times. Honestly, it gets easier. And now I really enjoy networking. I go in, have a giggle with people, I know
Mm,
people really well. I've got quite. The other thing is I book them in advance, so I have like a task that says book next month's networking, and then I'll book for the month ahead.
mm,
And then you can look on Eventbrite, see what's out there in your local area.
mm.
Um, yeah, and do what Kirsty said. Ask your clients, your local clients, or go on Facebook groups. Ask people, do you know any local networking
Yeah.
events? And then start to get people to talk to you that way as well,
Mm.
which is really good. So that's the advice that I think Kirsty and I are leaving you with. I think Kirsty's advice was brilliant. Definitely do that. And I'm just going to check what we're talking about next time, but I can't actually
I
find.
always forget. I should write it down.
Yeah, well, you're useless, aren't you? Not really. She's brilliant. Okay, so next week we're going to be back. It's going to be the last one because we're going to have a break for the Easter break. So we'll have like a week off, I think. I'll talk to Kirsty about that in more detail. She's just looking at me like I didn't
What?
know this was happening.
You're not leaving me on my own.
No, 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 not you. Both of us will have a break. And then we're going to be talking about streamlining your services. So, how you can do this with less clients, but more profit. So, that's going to be a good one to come back and tune into. I appreciate every single person that has joined us today. Make sure if you need CRM, or if you really are stuck and you want to go and figure out what you need to do to get clients, that course opens at midnight. It's self-led. It'll be £17 instead of 67. You just need to go to I think it's morethanava.org/get-started-course. Anyway, if you go to morethanava.org, you can find it. Register your interest on the waiting list, and you'll get that discount. It is really, really, really worth it because so many VAs. I keep on saying this. I keep seeing Instagram posts going, coming soon. Oh, some exciting's happening. No one cares, right? You've got to do things in the right way. And this is going to tell you step by step how you need to do it. Go listen to the VI Live Lounge on all streaming channels, Spotify, Apple Podcast. And please subscribe. We would love to get our podcast to the top of our industry charts. Wouldn't that be amazing for all virtual assistants?
Where are we at the minute?
I don't know. I'll need to check that out. But we've got a lot of downloads, which is
Mm.
great. And I think if you want to be a guest on our podcast, then head over to morethanava.org, look for the podcast tab, and apply. We'd love to have you on.
I'd really love to have someone on that is literally doesn't know where to start. So we can give really good live advice. We can show you how to do things. Don't be scared. We've all been there. Just come on, and we can walk you through it. We'll give you some great advice. You can just bat it off between the two of us, and we'll get you there. So anybody that's struggling, please just get in touch.
I love that. That's Kirsty's dream. This is to get someone on to do this. So we've got to make it happen for Kirsty.
Yes, with you.
Right. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week.